I have zero knowledge of business. That is the one that scares me the most. Because to me, there's no regrets. It's of what you can learn from it. I need the salesperson to talk to me so that I can trust the person. It's difficult to change the mindset. How am I going to convince customer to buy from me? Give me a few thousand ringgit without looking at the product. But your diamond not shiny enough. Because I know whatever I choose for you, confirm is good. My self-expectation is very, very high. That's why everything I do, it has to be the best.
Welcome to Drive to Success, where we go beyond the titles and achievements to find out what fuels high-performing professionals. And of course, as always, we're going to start off with, of course, Apex Autocars. What is it, Alex?
Yeah, so at Apex Autocars, me and Kalis, we share our experiences and product knowledge to the general population and car people, and we advise them as they move up their journey through the different cars they have.
So now, that's about cars. But when it comes to jewelry, we have an expert, someone who is a revolutionary in the industry himself. So, Ziyin.
Hi, I'm Ziyin. I'm the co-founder of Zacova. So we do an online diamond and jewelry, and we are omni-channel. So we have offline and online presences as well.
So Ziyin, what was your first job ever?
Honestly, first job ever, it's when I was working in Beirut. I would say I'm very privileged to enjoy my life in high school, and uni times. But I wouldn't say that privilege is good, because without experience in real life and you start working, you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. That is a very difficult path to go with. But I would say my first job is in Beirut, where I learned the trades of jewelry, how to do sourcing, how to sort out rough diamond, how to sort out polished diamond, what is good, what is bad, how do we deal with suppliers, how we deal with production. Those are the things I learned in Beirut.
I see. So how did you, a Malaysian boy, end up all the way in Lebanon?
Oh, this is interesting story, because I graduated with a fine arts degree. Right? Of course, people know fine arts. I do sculpting, right? I do sculpting. I can't draw to save my life. I'm not good in science. I'm not good in other accounting parts. So when you do fine arts, either you are really good at it or you have to look for something else, right? And of course, in the Asian family, after you graduate, you need to look for a job. And I don't know where I want to go. And I have a friend that did a geological course with GIA. And then I asked I asked, hey, look, the course that you did in GIA, what is it about? I learned about it. I said, interesting. And then I was like, okay, I can explore somewhere else with a new course. And then went into GIA, learned about it, and I hit another brick, a wall again. Like, I asked my lecturer back then, I said, so what do I do after I graduate? They said, oh yeah, you can work in front door sales or you work in a lab. I said, no, I don't want to work in front door sales, right? Because bachelor degree, I'm not going to work with front door sales. Then I asked, again, how usually after graduate, right? What are you going to do after you graduate? I told my Lebanese friend, I said, look, I want to find something that is a trade specialty, where you need to be, if you know kind of situation to work in that trade. Then he said, yeah, why not come to Beirut for a holiday, speak to my dad and see what we can do. So I said, okay, Christmas holiday, I flew to Beirut, and then I spoke to the dad. And then dad said, yo, you want a job? Move to Beirut. I literally packed my bag. Went back to London, packed my bag, and I moved to Beirut for 2 years. That's how I learned the trades.
Like just like that?
Just like that. Yeah.
You're a very impromptu kind of person, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. But for 2 years, you were in Lebanon, remember?
Yes.
So how can you describe the experience working in Lebanon with, I believe that, can you tell me about your friend's father? Was he like a...
He's one of the most prominent jewelers in Belgium, in Europe, and the Middle East as well. So he is considered like a rare sourcer. He sources a lot of rare products, rare items. So we learn a lot from how how we segregate a good rough diamond versus how to segregate a polished diamond. So a lot of sourcing, a lot of how all the back-end thing works in the jewelry industry. That's where I learned the trade as well. From learning, these are rough grades is not suitable for this and this and this. And then after you polish the diamond, this is the grade that we do. That is, if let's say it's no certificate, this is how we do it, and that's how we're gonna do it into a jewelry. So that's how I learned the trade after I graduated from GIA as well.
Was it quite hard to learn the skills? The 2 years, the learning curve, was it steep?
The learning curve is steep because we learn a lot of things. I start to learn how to deal with suppliers. How do we source some rare item? Who do we look for? If let's say certain rare items, where I want to go, who should I ask? Well, these are the things I learned lah.
So then, after that, 2 years in Lebanon, then straight back to Malaysia?
Straight back to Malaysia because my brother and my family wants me back in Malaysia as well. Because back then, Beirut, politically not that stable, right? And it's also time for me to go back lah, because I went back home for years, right? Because after my uni, I went to London for a good couple of years. I wasn't home. So time to go home. And then before I go home, my brother just got married as well. Then we found out there is a bit of gap in the industry. That's how we start planning my way back home as well. Say, oh, this is the gap we see is back in 2014. We say, oh, there's a gap here. The middle part of the industry no one touches. It's still very blue ocean. Then we said, okay, let's look into it. And then we see there's viable business in there. And that's how I moved back to KL, and then we start the business.
So when you said there's a gap in the market, so therefore you saw a problem that no one is fixing. What was that problem?
I think that problem is, I would say, transparency in terms of what customer are able to understand, right? A lot of times, this is not only in Malaysia, everywhere else, where you go to a jewelry store, they tell you, oh, this is a diamond. They won't tell you the different prices of a same product. Because diamond prices there is an index for it, right? People know the current prices. Not every, for example, you say a 1 carat DVVS2 diamond, for example, it's not every diamond the same price one. It could be more expensive, it could be cheaper, depending on when was this item graded and based on the exchange rate, right? So actually higher, then it'll be more expensive. Actually lower, then it'll be cheaper. So there is no transparency there. And a lot of times they'll tell you, oh, this one price for all the same item, right? So we want to be more transparent in that, so that customers know what they're buying as well. And then other than that, it's the option. I think one, because I used to be a buyer myself in Beirut as well, I got a lot of not pleasant services when I go to a jewelry store. When a buyer, you go inside, you are not being greeted and being looked down upon, where people feel like, oh, this small little boy can afford my jewelry or not. I don't like that kind of feeling, right? It's not a good feeling. So we feel like this type of feeling should not be there, and we want to make it a very fair experiences for everyone else. So we see there's a gap there as well. Then we slowly build on to that.
I see. So the common problem that you faced in Beirut is also faced by people here in Malaysia as well.
Yes. It's the same. It's more of you don't get to know the things that, not just get to know things you buy, it's more of like you want to be more transparent to customer in terms of diamond prices. Because diamond prices, it's a commodity, right? So it will be more transparent on that. So we give that a range.
Understood. And I think another thing that I like about your business also as well is that you mentioned that you're trying to service people who are, a lot of them are first-time buyers. Like for me, if I will come to a jewelry store, I don't know what to buy, man. Yeah, honestly.
So I think for that, we started the whole business with the idea of, I want to sell diamonds online. Because truth to be told, this business model is not a new business model. It's around in Europe and it's around in the States for more than 20 years already, right? Because we understand the dollars, the exchange rate is different. So the amount they see in US dollars or in British pound is a lot lower than in ringgit, right? We see the gap there. So we slowly built on that. And then we realized in Southeast Asia, we are still I need the salesperson to talk to me so that I can trust the person. So we realized there is something that it's difficult to change the mindset. So we created a consultation basis. That's how it's from a one-pager. This is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. Send in a request that we source for you, and then we ask you what you're looking for. Then we shift it to consultation basis. You give us a call, text us, then we see what kind of things that you need. We'll source for you, and then we guide you through how to select a ring and stuff. That's how we build that consultation part. And we find that it's a very useful tool because it gives confidence to customer as well. Then that's where we saw a lot of other small little problems then we fix for
I
customer.
mean, like, when you came into Malaysia for the first time, right? Like, wasn't any concern like, hey, will the market actually receive this? They're very new to this. It's not something that's very known or not a common practice. Yeah, because like most of jewelry stores that at least I've entered before, where they've already have it in front of you. Now you're telling me, hey, Ziyin, here's 6,000, 5,000 for a ring, but I'm not going to see it for the next maybe 20, 30 days. I don't know whether I'm going to get it or not.
Yeah, of course. That is always the problem. Like a lot of problem, like people. That's the first problem that we face. It's when we started business. It's how am I going to convince customer to buy from me, give me few thousand ringgit, without looking at the product, right? That is the problem. Back then, it took us 3 weeks to a month to convince one customer. Because one, we have no product, we have zero inventory. You need to wait 1 month to see the item, and you need to put a very high deposit, like 70% with us, right? So that is that convincing part that is very difficult. Throughout the years, we grind it through. We found, I wouldn't say perfect, we found a very good way of doing a consultation to give customer more confidence. One is because I'm a very, my principle is very, I would say very strict in terms of what I offer to customer. Things that I don't use, I will not offer to customer. As simple as that, right? And I am very detail oriented in terms of sourcing. If I feel this thing is not good enough, right, I would rather not do your business than having something that's not good out there.
So you have rejected certain customers before because
I
of this?
rejected because I feel, as long as I stay, my integrity is there, my principle is there, I know I can go somewhere. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to earn a quick buck. No point earning a quick buck. I want to make sure that whatever I give you is good. That's how I started growing the trust in customer. Make sure the product is good. Make sure the diamond that they selected is good. So I can tell you, right, for the past 10 years, no one had come to me and said, hey, your diamond not shiny enough. Because I know whatever I choose for you, confirm is good. Because I want to pick something that I wouldn't use myself.
No, take me through. I'm someone that has never really gone into jewelry buying, right? So what are the common traits of things that are good quality and not good quality? Like you mentioned just now, shiny. So one of them is shininess. What are the other things that maybe someone may have an unpleasant buying experience? What would they receive?
Okay, so not to say unpleasant or not knowing certain things. I would say commonly you go to a jewelry store, they'll ask you, hey, what are you looking for? Or you're looking for this engagement ring, we have this. When a salesperson is telling you what you should pick, like saying, like let's say ABC, oh, you should go for A, without giving you a explanation of why going for A, then, oh, I give you A, I can give you additional 5%. Means they are influencing you on what you're buying, right? There's nothing wrong to it, but I feel that it's not transparent enough. And then that is one part where we have to make sure that we give you the consultation. You go for this one, I teach you how to pick a diamond. What is good, what is bad, what you need to look out for. Those are the things that we go through with our customer. Like if we know certain things that it's we need to tell you, we'll tell you upfront.
All right, it's very interesting. And that's what I like about Ziyin, your friend over here, right? Is the fact that he's someone that has the right way is integrity. In a business where perhaps some people want a quick buck, you are not even afraid of, again, losing customers. And again, you're quite brave, bro, because I can only imagine about maybe 10 years ago, this thing is so foreign. I can only, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes back then. It was literally a battle of every single customer. They come here, they have a good experience, and probably from there, they probably tell others, look, you can get the best service, the best jewelry at this place. So that's how I imagine now. And I want to segue into another topic, Ziyin, is now that you are in this current era, you've seen how the consumer market have changed the habits over the years, right? How was the consumer market back then versus now, where we have people that we have a conversation earlier about people bringing AI designed jewelry to you and all this. How was the market like right now and back then?
Back then it's a lot of I need to trust you. It's about trust. I need to trust you. Nowadays, we created not just created a trend. We changed the way how consumers buy jewelry. So instead of trust now, customers say, I know what I'm looking for, because we have done a lot of all the education part. So consumer knows that they'll get all this knowledge from us, and then they'll tell me like, look, this is what I'm looking for. this design, can you do it for me? Then I will look into it, like as well, given AI design, right? So we get a lot of AI design. Then we look into it, I tell them like the measurement doesn't make sense, right? Because it comes to a minute details. Like I told you just now, right? Jewelry allowances is up to 0.5 mm. It's that small. Even ruler you cannot see at 0.5 mm. It goes to that small. AI doesn't have that ability to create such a detailed work for customer yet. That means we can achieve the design that you want, but we cannot follow the measurement that is given to you. We'll try to do it on our end, meaning we still need our resources, means our design team, to recreate the design for you based on what you want, but the measurement will be different from what you've given us to us. But some people say, hey, follow exactly this measurement. I say some of it doesn't make sense. I'll recreate the design for you, but based on what we feel is the right measurement for you. So consumer now, they know a lot. Actually, consumer now, they're very knowledgeable. They know already.
I see. This is because of the advent of, of course, we got more and more content now online.
Correct.
And then we got, of course, now ChatGPT can just prompt everything out.
Yes.
Yeah. So similar level, like I was just thinking, like between our businesses, we have the same thing. Obviously, the car business we've been doing only the last like five years or so. But like example, workshop business that was I stopped it a year ago, but we ran for 11 years. So when we first started, people used to come to me and ask me for advice on how to mod a car, for example.
Yep.
And then fast forward to maybe my last 2 years, people tell me what they want to do to it and can I order those parts?
Yes.
I was like, whoa, no one wanted to check whether that is a reliable, that's achievable, that's repeatable, you know what I mean? Because everybody sort of already comes in informed, you know what I mean? So I think that comes with as you said, like the ChatGPT and everything. So you have to lay in the inform people, but at the same time, there's certain things that, as you mentioned, the experience side to tell them that, hey, look, there's maybe certain limitations. Because ChatGPT doesn't cover everything, right? Yeah.
Exactly, right. For us, the reason why we call our sales team a curator, they are not exactly a person that will sell, or upsell you things, right? I give a very strict instruction to my sales team: do not upsell my customer. I will not accept it. If anything's gone back to me, I'll question you. What do you upsell to them? Is it really what they wanted, or is something that you feel you can make a quick buck? I said no point. We want to be truthful to customer. We want to know what their option is, right? And then when it comes to us, curators, we are part of like a stylist, right? You tell us, we'll ask you like, hey, does your partner wear a lot of jewelry? What kind of lifestyle she has? What's the day job like? If you tell me your wife is a surgeon, then I say this kind of ring not suitable. If she likes to wear jewelry, in the theater room or something, we do get customer like that, right? I say this is not suitable for you. You go for something else. At the end of the day, we as a curator, we want to give you a product that we are proud of. At the end of the day, we want to create a product that we want to post on social media, right? If the product is not nice, why would I want to post on social media, right? So we want to do something that's beautiful for customer and what we feel is suitable for customer. Yeah. So we are creative. We have to curate what is what, and we help our customer throughout the whole journey on what is more suitable for your lifestyle.
Now, I just want to ask this because it's very impressive what you've done, and I'm sure it's not only you. You mentioned earlier also as well, it was you and your brother that started this business. So the idea, it came from you, then your brother come in, or was it vice versa, or was it a combination of both?
I think my brother came in with a question.
Okay.
How much do I get this diamond for? Because he got married, I can guess, right? I say, oh, this is the price for a diamond. He was sure like, what? He said, what is this? Then I told him, oh, yeah, because I have a classmate that works for two brands that is the similar business concept as well. I told you the business model. This is the business model that the States are doing and the UK are doing as well. Then he said, this is no-brainer. No one does it in Malaysia. We can do it here. That's how it sprung the idea. Then we was like, okay, let's work on this and let's plan on how we're going to do all the branding and stuff, what we can do with the brand, where's the direction we want to go. I told him we want to do full online, might not work, certain things. It's a back and forth idea.
So when it first started, it was just you and your brother?
Yes, both of us only. Yeah.
So what was the early days like working your brother on this?
A lot of learning for me. A lot of learning for me because I come from a creative side. I have zero knowledge of business. The most important thing for me, I feel, is I need to learn the accounting part, the financial part of it. That is the one that scares me the most. Because when a lot of creative have this idea of very glamorous thing. Oh, I want this to be this. I want that. I want orange to be top notch. That is every creative dream, right? But it all comes down to dollar and cents. Whether it's you can get your ROI back from it. I learned that a lot from my. I'm so lucky to have my brother that can teach me along the way. I also have my dad to screw me down. Like, you need to learn your P&L. You need to read your P&L. You need to understand your P&L. You need to know why this, why it's not making money, why it's losing money, what we need to cut down. Those are the things I need to learn from ground up, which I feel it's something that is good for me.
Understand. I mean, it's very inspiring for me, honestly, Ziyin. Like I said, I fall into the same bracket as you. I'm someone that I got a lot of ideas, a lot of things I want to execute, a lot of wishful thinking,
Yeah,
But then when you look at the dollars and cents, like, shit, cannot do it, right? And I like the fact that seeing where you are now today and the success that you have, and the fact that you never, because some creatives stubborn lah, bro. Like stubborn, they don't want to change. They don't want to change.
I mean, I'm also stubborn in a way, right? I'm also stubborn, but when you learn the financial of business, right, then you'll be even more creative because you're limited to that budget. Like, for example, packaging budget, right? Back then, my packaging I want to do, right, is about 200-300 ringgit for one packaging. My brother said, you crazy or what? Right? So I give you this budget now, you work with this budget. Like, okay, I'll work with this budget. Then I will find ways to do things. That's where the creative comes in as well. You have a limited resources. What am I gonna do now to impress people also?
Right.
So that's how my creative.
It makes it challenging lah.
Challenging also lah, right? Yeah.
Screwing every value out of every cent.
Exactly. So that's the good part of learning the financial part and also be creative, because both come hand in hand. Once you understand the financial part, you are still you can be creative also, but in a more economical sense lah.
Right. So in terms of our relationship with your brother, we talked about this earlier before, but just for the audience sake, right? How do you balance between personal life and your family? Because he's your brother, right? So you some problem in the business. Once you finish the business, he's still your brother at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think in that part, I think we made it very clear, right? When it comes to business, anything wrong with the business, we need to listen to each other, right? At the end of the day, he knows what he's doing, right? My brother is a auditor back then with UI, right? So he knows his stuff in finances, and I don't know anything. I cannot be stuck up saying like, oh no, I know everything. I cannot, At the end of the day, I don't know. So I need to learn from him also. And then he also know that he's not good with creative. So he has to learn from me also. So we know the boundaries of our strength. So we have that mutual understanding that, this is our strength. We're going to work on it. Sometimes we do have a lot of argument, but we have to reason it out with each other. Like certain things, like when it comes to packaging kind of budget, it's like I will reason out with him, then he'll reason out with me. Then we're like, okay, I get it. This is what I have to do also. So a lot of understanding and a lot of give and take when it comes to doing business with brothers, I would say.
I want to understand more of the core of you, and oftentimes you want to understand the core of a person. We have to go like way back into their childhood years, into their upbringing, right? You mentioned that your father was, he screw you sometimes, right? A lot of times, I'm not sure. So how was your father like growing up? Was he like a very strict military kind of guy, or what is he?
A lot of people have this one. When I see my parents, they thought my dad is the fierce one. No, actually, my mom is the fierce one.
Okay.
My mom is the tiger mom. My mom is the fierce one, right? So I think growing up, right, for me, it's a lot of different part of my life that I learn things as well. Of course, my father is always my father. A lot of things that he told me, I have to understand. I have to listen to him, right? That's not a father, right? So he always tell me that, every problem have a solution, right? Then growing up, I have a lot of things that I learned as well. One thing is a phrase that my English teacher used to say. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Figuratively speaking, I did not take it like literally, but a lot of things that I do, I realize when I do in my adulthood, right? It's really a lot of pre-planning, understanding, like for example, sales, understanding what a customer want, what I say to customer, whether it's good or bad, whether my customer will like what I say, then I will change the way I do things. That's how I came up with my whole sales training guide as well. That's how I do all my design processes, or the selecting of diamonds. It's a lot of planning things, right? That is my I would say my school days, like high school days, kind of quote I get. Then I mean, throughout the adulthoods, it's all of the things that I did. A lot of regretful things. Rather than being regretful, I will take it as a lesson learned. To me, there's no regrets. It's of what you can learn from it. That is part of adulthood. Then when working with my ex-boss, it's more of humility. Learn how to be humble. Learn that, everything can be taken away easily. All of this is part of how I grew up as a person also.
Interesting, yeah. So, in short, this part of you that you're talking about, there's one part that earlier we had a conversation about before the podcast started was you said that you have these things where you had to struggle with a bit of a perfectionism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that also sort of stemmed from certain things that we, like it or not, was spoken to us in our childhood.
Yeah,
right?
Of course, 100%. So that thing I realized it's later on in my adulthood as well. Truth to be told, starting your own business is difficult, right? You go through a lot of mental problem as well. I'm not ashamed of saying this. Like, I do seek therapists. You need to know what's going on, right? I have all of these things that's happening. I don't know what's going on, right? Then that's where I learned that, all of these things that happen in my childhood, small little things only, this is not significant, right? That it bottles up to me being a person that set a very high standard for myself. I think people who knows me, like my friends around me, they know the Ziyin standard is always there one. When you say the thing is always there one. My self-expectation is very, very high. That's why everything I do, it has to be the best.
So, have you ever set the expectation too high for yourself?
I did. A lot of times when it comes to work, right? When it comes to sourcing products, a lot of times customer would misunderstood where they think I do not want to do their business, or they feel like you're not interested in taking up my business lah. Actually, that's not a fact. I put such a high standard in myself that if I cannot source the item for you, I'd rather not do it. Because I want to make sure that I source the best item. Because I do get a lot of private customers say, I want to source this. So I'll do a lot of sourcing for customers also. So a lot of time I will particularly source an item. Sometimes it takes a few months to source it. Then customer will feel like, I waited 3 months for it, but I never get back to me. I said, I cannot find the thing that I want. They'll tell me, but everyone gave me, I got the option, but it's not up to my standard. I cannot go through myself to offer you something that I wouldn't want to offer also. So that is that our crazy hype. Even my brother sometimes said, you don't need to be so particular when it comes to sourcing. I said, I cannot, really cannot. I would rather stick to that principle where when I source something for you, I'll make sure it's a good item.
So until today, it's still the same for that part?
Still the same. I can tell you, like, currently the customer I'm looking for, it's a gemstone I'm looking for, right? It's been 4 weeks already. I cannot source the item that she wants. Because everyone gave him the same item. Say, hey, I saw Aaron got cancer. I said, but all of this doesn't go through the lab that I trust, because every time they have a certain lab they go to. I said, this lab, it won't pass through. I have to make sure it passed through, it's written on a certificate, it's exactly what you wanted, then I can offer it to you. I won't even take a gamble. I'll tell you, I will pay for the certificate first. If it's not what you wanted, I want to give it to you as well. So those are to that kind of level.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that this also carries into other sectors of your life, not just business?
Other sector of my life is a lot more chill now. A lot more chill now. I don't really care a lot of things, especially I think the most part is how people view me as a person. Back then, it's quite what what people think about me. Nowadays, I don't really put that I wouldn't put that as a priority in my life.
Right. Will you say that you really love yourself now?
Yes, of course. A lot more happier now lah.
Yeah.
A lot more happier. A lot of things I just let go lah.
I see.
Not important, just let go.
Now, in terms of our podcast called Drive to Success, right? So now you've gone through more than a decade of your business already, and of course, years working. Has your definition of success changed when you were young until now?
No.
Still the same?
Still the same. Success never always that, monetary thing. It's more of what you can achieve, what you can build as well. When we built Zacova, we have this idea of how can I create a brand name that have no meaning to it. So Zacova has no meaning.
Really?
No
Zero?
minimum, zero.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of other brands, right, have this, it's a founder's name, and I didn't want that. I want to see whether I can build something that has no meaning to it. Then people say, oh, is it a Z, represents Z as Z? I say, yeah, okay. If you think it's that, then by all means. But for us, in true and true, it's no meaning one. Zacova is just a play of words. It sounded good.
Right. Understood. Wow, that's interesting. And normally, there are people like to pre-plan,
Yeah.
double meaning, the logo, everything. They must have a meaning for every single thing.
Yeah. So we try to build on that. Like, hey, actually can this one.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to ask, Ziyin, is now moving forward in your business. Of course, you've done tremendously. You've expanded right now to not only in KL, you have your businesses in Johor, Ipoh, my hometown, Penang also as well.
Yeah.
So what is the future looking like for Zacova?
Of course, we still want to maintain on what we are doing. Of course, have more footprint around. We are still planning to open in Sabah, Sarawak. For us, that the problem is not on opening there, it's the delivery part. It's always the delivery part that we are very afraid that it cannot meet the certain time that we want. So we are still always at the lookout for that also. Other than that, it's really nailed down on our brand awareness. People need to know what Zero stands for as well.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a heavily service-based business. Right? So I think that challenge is always like, can I maintain the same sort of quality as I expand further? Right. So how did you manage to expand thus far with the outlets that you have right now? How do you manage to maintain that sort of quality in all the other states that you're expanding in?
So every single salesperson that joins us, I personally train them. But I told you, I'm very meticulous in things, right? Yes, I cannot control what they do and say afterwards, right? But the most important thing is I need to know whether you are equipped to do it. So when I go through the training, of course, I'll teach you how to look for a diamond, how to pick a diamond. That is the most important part. Because after you understood how to pick a diamond, then you don't have to worry anymore. Because when you follow that step of doing it, customer won't complain, right? At the end of the day, we want to do a service where customers don't come and complain with us. That is my whole idea, right? I'll do everything for you, but I don't want complaints. I don't want troubles, right? Then a lot of times it's a lot of time when we do my training with my sales team, it's I will do a role play, salesperson and then customer, and I will always show them how I do my consultation. I'll tell them everyone does it differently. Everyone have their own style, but the concept is there. The idea is there. The way of doing it is there. But how you do it is up to you. I cannot control. I cannot force you to do the way I do it, right? Because sales is not A plus B is equals C. It's not 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, 1 plus 1 can be 10, right? That's sales, right? So I'll do a lot of role play with them, and every time I am the customer, I'll put them in a very difficult situation, because whatever situation that I put in front of them is what I've experienced myself as a customer for the past 10 years. And my idea is not to make you feel difficult. My idea is I want to see how fast can you change, how fast can you switch around and make things and take control of the situation as well. And once I realize that you can do it, because when the things you say to me, I say, this one can. I know that, the way you say it good, this is very nice. This is how you should do it. This is how you should turn around, how you control a conversation with customer, how you make sure that, you don't, if you know that you said something offensive to customer, how do you change it immediately? How you make the situation nicer to customer? That's how I want to see my sales team do. That's the reason why I do the training like that. So that when I know that you are able to maneuver yourself around difficult situation, you are a good salesperson. Because every outlet that we have, we don't have a manager that one.
Oh.
It's a 3 salesperson, then they just work throughout that.
They're
They're self-sustained. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The KPI is based on the sales, or
The KPI is the amount of customer you get, right? Like let's say one salesperson have like 20, 30 customers kind of thing.
right? So how this works is like maybe like how my guys are in here is They have a basic and then based on their commission.
Yeah, that one thing is that, right?
Yeah.
And also, we will try our best on HQ side, to churn out more customer inquiries for them.
Right.
Right.
So they don't need to cold call, you don't need to call, they just sit down there, wait for us to churn out the customer, and then you just follow a customer.
Right.
The customer service.
I'm curious one thing, Ziyin. Okay, one thing I realized about running a business over the years is one of the mistakes that I have made over the past, right, is thinking that sometimes the people working for me are as passionate as I am about my business, right?
Mhm.
So how do you ensure, or rather, how do you make sure that, hey, your salespeople see the vision and see what you want them to deliver?
I think that part I learned it from my dad and my brother as well, that you don't expect them to understand what you're doing. At the end of the day, you are the business owner, right? You don't expect them to know, right? So for me, it's my vision to them. It's you just treat customer with respect. Just treat customer well. That's the reason why a lot of all these, I will tell them, like, that's the reason why all of these wealthy people that treat their SA in branded stores so well, because they know the item is rare. Like, for example, you go buy a watch, right? You want to say, I want this watch. They tell you, oh, waiting list 5 years kind of thing, right? Then a lot of times, when you try to be nice to the salesperson, so you give me that thing, right? So I say, that is the reason why a lot of these wealthy people, they treat their SA so nice. I bring out for your lunch, bring your dinner, so that in hopes of me getting a rare item from you. I say you need to put that into your mindset, where it's a simple humanity thing, right? You treat people well, people will treat you well as well. As simple as that. I want you to treat people like how you want to be treated. It's a very simple principle. If you follow that, I think everything else is fine already. Because if you treat the person nice, word of mouth is the most amazing marketing you can get, right? When you are good enough, people will say, look, buy from her, buy from him. You will never go wrong one. Give you the best item, best price, everything. Just go to them. That's what you want. You want the word of mouth from your customers. So as long as you treat people well, you do your customer service at the top-notch level, everything is fine.
What do you think is a common mistake that a lot of maybe startups or these early business owners, young ones, make when they first start their business?
I think I wouldn't put it as general. For me, myself, it's not learning your business in and out, right? Especially like I told you about P&L. You need to really understand the financial part of your business. That P&L is your lifesaver. Once you understand it, once you know about it, everything will be fine. That is one mistake when it comes to creative business owners, right? They don't really study through their business financial. Like I said, creative always want to be the best of everything, but they don't look at the financial part. So that is the most important. I would say a lot of people look down upon, did not put a lot of attention to it. Your financial, your cash flow. That is where I learned from, brother. Like, oh my God, it's so important.
Understood. All right. Alif, any other questions?
No, I mean, just wanted to agree with that last statement there. That's like for us bodybuilders, the hematocrit levels, mate.
Yeah.
That's a key important data,
Yeah,
the P&L. Because
absolutely.
if you have data long enough, even 6 months before you get in trouble, you can see the warning signs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why it's very important.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been an amazing interview thus far. Okay, so this is the final part of our podcast already. Now, you've done business across 10 plus years right now in Malaysia. What would you want to say to your customers who have supported you throughout these years? This opportunity to tell them right now.
I would say I want to thank them a lot, for believing in us, giving us the opportunity, right? Even though sometimes we do make mistakes, that you gave us a second chance to prove ourselves as well. So we do want to thank a lot of our customers that been with us for the past 10 years, even for past 5 years. You gave us the opportunity to create something for you, even for your kids as well. So those are something that we appreciate a lot. Appreciate that opportunity given to us.
Okay, fantastic. So now I already know where I'm going to buy my engagement ring from. So Guys, if you want to get yours, make sure you head over to Zacova. Amazing, not only a business, but the founder himself, very passionate. You can really feel the love, the passion for the business and for his customer. He wants the best. So thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you.
Right. So guys, once again, thank you for watching Drive to Success, and we hope you join us in the next podcast. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Drive to Success.